Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another review. This time around, I'm going to be doing a review for The Martian, and it stars Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain, Kristen Wiig, Jeff Daniels, Michael Pena, Sean Bean, Kate Mara, Sebastian Stan, Chitwell Ejiofor, Axel Henny, Benedict Wong, Mackenzie Davids, and Donald Glover. So yeah, before I begin though, 10 seconds spoiler warning as usual for those who have yet to actually watch the movie and haven't already. Stop the video, go check it out and come back and watch the rest of this review. 10 seconds spoiler warning as usual starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds are up, so for those who have yet to actually watch this movie and haven't already, please do comment down below or be messaging me that I never gave you fair warnings, as usual I did. So as usual, quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then the rate. So yeah, basically in this movie, it's based off a book. I've never read the book, so yeah, I always say that when it comes to like, do like most of these novel reviews or whatever. If I've read the book, I'll say I read the book. If I haven't read the book, which is normally the case, I'll say I haven't read the book. So yeah, I'm not gonna compare this to the book. Okay. If I had read the book, I may have compared it a bit. I don't know. I mean, I do that to The Walking Dead sometimes. And then again, it's a comic book. Whatever. Off topic. Um, Hunger Games would have been a better example because I've read those books. And the movie's coming out, come to think of it, soon. So yeah. Synopsis, like the six, and then the rate. So basically, you have Matt Damon. He plays this astronaut who's up in space in the year 2030. Mark Watney, I believe his name is. Yeah, Mark Watney. Sorry. And basically, there's like this weather storm up in Mars. There's like just a storm in Mars, like a hurricane, I guess. And all of a sudden, him and his team are trying to get off of Mars and get to the space station so they could return to Earth. However, like one of the satellites or satellite plates or something, a debris. Let's just call it debris. Debris hits him. They think he's dead. So the rest of his crew leave, go into space station. Come to find out that he's not dead. And if you've seen the trailers, he has to make about 30 days of food last for the next 4 years, basically. And it's a little bit over 30 because and he does the math. It's 30 for about 7 people, okay? Multiply, first off, you have to multiply it now 7 times 30, okay? You have to multiply 7 times 30, that gives you 210 or something like that, more or less. And then after you plan it, he does the calculations. And yeah, obviously NASA's trying to get him back as teammates, his crew, the rest of his crew eventually find out. NASA eventually does tell them, yo, by the way, you remember that astronaut, your partner, Mark Watney, that you left up in space a couple years ago or a couple months ago? Yeah, it turns out he's still alive and he managed to make Mars livable, I guess, if you could say, because theoretically nothing is supposed to be growing on Mars, yet he literally managed to get food like tomatoes and potatoes grow in Mars. Pretty interesting way. He legit just gets his own shit, turns that into manure or whatever, or fertilizer, and literally just is able to plant all that. So yeah, and then eventually they do rescue him. He does come back, and at the end, he becomes a university professor, teaching how to survive on Mars. And yeah, this is actually a surprisingly funny movie. I knew this was gonna be going in. It looked like it was gonna be a great movie. Okay, some people before this were comparing this already to Interstellar. And it's interesting because we always do have that at least like one or two big space movies every year. This year it's The Martian, and later on we're gonna have Star Wars. Last year it was Guardians of the Galaxy and Interstellar. The year before it was Prometheus and Star Trek, I believe. So we always have like some of these big space opera type of movies. So yeah, and you always have like the fan made one. If, normally it's split up into the Oscar contender one. In this case, like the Martian, Interstellar, Prometheus, I guess would count as that one. I mean, then again, that's aliens. And then you always have like the fan service ones. In this case, the ones with a big following already. In this case, Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars, and I guess Star Trek will have a bigger fan. I don't know. Which one do you think would have a bigger following, Aliens or Star Trek? Who knows? But that was from like 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, you guys more or less know where I'm coming from. So yeah, stunning. I really want to see Star Wars when that comes out. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's a surprisingly funny film. All around, it's like a low key comedy movie, and it is funnier than like most comedy movies I've seen this year. Similar to The Walk, how it's more horrific than most horror movies I've seen this year. This movie is more comedic than some comedy movies I've seen this year. And yeah, now just because there is great comedy throughout the movie doesn't mean it's not afraid to go into the dramatic. It is pretty dramatic. When it needs to be. So yeah, because you expect this guy to be like, down. I want to say down on his yeah, I guess down on his luck. He's been left behind on this planet, stranded to shit. You expect him to be like, let me just commit suicide. Somehow. And he doesn't, surprisingly. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm sick. And there is this one line like halfway through the movie where he's like, I'm literally the smartest person on this planet. And it's true because he's the only person on that planet. So it is pretty funny. So there are kind of funny moments, but again, it's not afraid to go into the dramatic side. That more or less takes me into the writing. The writing here is incredible. Again, it's based off the book, but I've never read the book, so I don't know. But for the most part, the writing is incredible. One of the toughest things they have to do is show the intimacy, I guess, or the friendship, the partnership between his crew, the rest of his between Mark Watney, Mark Watney, Matt Damon's character, and the rest of the crew, which includes like Jessica Chastain, Mike Pena, as well as NASA, which includes like Chitwell Ejiofor. And more or less make it seem believable, that his crew and Mark Watney care for each other, and that NASA and Mark Watney, NASA wants to get Mark Watney back, make sure he's okay, and so they can also do tests on Mars after he's okay to make sure all that's good, and to see how the hell did he manage to grow anything on Mars, and I doubt if there's one thing they could falter or that could be bad, it'll be the connections right there. But they're really great. You have that one scene where they're finally talking, like they're email. I guess you could not exactly emailing, but they're like typing on a chat room between all three, and it's pretty heartwarming. And it's still funny. Mark Quaney, funny character. Again, one of the funniest characters I've seen this whole year and movies as a whole. So yeah, it is really funny. It is really dramatic at times, and overall, it's a great movie. Well acted, well written. I mean, I want to be. Yeah, Matt Damon should get a nomination for the Oscars. For the 2015-2016 Oscars, because yeah, one of the best performances this year. Definitely one of the best performances this year. He definitely does deserve an Oscar. Would this movie be considered for Best Picture? Probably it'll probably be nominated for Best Picture. Best special effects for sure. I mean, it has some great special effects as a whole. Like when he's floating up in space and is it Jessica Chastain? Yeah, and when Jessica Chastain is reaching for his arm trying to get him back, that was pretty heartfelt, and it was heartfelt on an emotional level. But then you just see like the background, because they're in space. You see Mars kind of there in the background. It's pretty incredible, and again, the special effects do help bring the story a bit more into life. And again, I think this is one of those movies that will benefit from IMAX and 3D. And there actually are a few movies this year in general that seem to benefit more with the IMAX and 3D. The Walk being another great example. Mad Max Fury Road is actually pretty good. Even Avengers Age of Ultron would work with IMAX 3D. I mean, Avengers Age of Ultron and Fury Road did not a necessity. You don't necessarily need to have them as in IMAX or 3D, but I think it will just enhance experience. But if you want movies that would definitely get a benefit out of IMAX and or 3D. The Walk for sure, and definitely The Martian. Are two that I would definitely recommend view in IMAX 3D. And yeah, I mean, as a whole, incredible movie. Just a few issues every here and there, a few pacing issues every here and there. There's one thing I just didn't understand about Mark Watney, and I know, and it's kind of interesting because he accepts the situation. Sure, he accepts the fact that he's on this planet. And he does try to make light of it, but he never goes psychotic. Like he never has he has a one or two breakdowns, but I don't know. I just felt like they could have taken it in even if it was just for one scene or something, like a little bit darker. Make it a little bit darker would have been great. Him maybe talking to his crew. Let me save me before I fucking commit suicide or some shit like that. That would have been great. Well, it would have been great if they just took it a little bit into that darker direction. And yeah, that's basically it for now. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. It's a really great film. Do check it out, definitely, if you haven't checked it out already. And yeah, that's basically it for now. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. Comment down below on your thoughts on the movie. Have you seen it? And if not, why not? And if you have heard thoughts on it, comment that down below. Let me know. Like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.